Alright, what's up, guys and gals? So, I got another quick, well, I don't know if it's gonna be quick, but I got another little question a day for you guys. This one, I actually got the idea from none other than Ed, aka the Budget Jedi. Some of you might know him. He's been a bro for a long time. What's funny is, like, I started doing these question a day videos like sometime like late last year, November. So I think I've done only about six or so, and I'm not sure if that's counting the recent one about SDCC reveals, because all the other ones they were like late last year, early this year, and then I kind of just dropped off of doing them. I stopped doing them, and then I started doing like the podcast style talks with the bro Jason. But this is something I started a while back. I always intended to do, make it a very regular thing. And I actually reached out to Ed, like at that time, like at the very beginning, for suggestions for topics. And I don't even remember if Ed remembers. He actually gave me a list. I reached out to a few friends, a few collector friends. Unfortunately, it was like in Messenger, probably both Facebook Messenger and Instagram direct messages, and wherever it was that list of suggestions was, it got pushed back through more messaging. So I kind of, along with just falling off of doing the question of David's, those topic suggestions got pushed back. So but now I'm back trying to do them, and Ed actually just messaged me with this topic suggestion. I was like, you know what, that's a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and jump on it and tackle it ASAP. So the question is, like, how much do you mix brands and or style of figures? Because it's kind of we live in an age of action figures where all these brands are, well, I mean, it's always been the case that brands are competing, but where all these brands or several brands or companies have licenses for or the same licenses for certain properties, like right now, for example, there's like, aside from Marvel Legends being the main one, the biggest one, like producing Marvel, not even just Marvel, but specifically like Marvel Cinematic Universe figures. SH Figure Arts is also doing them, and I don't know if Maifix, but there's a bunch of other brands that are also doing like actual Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they're all kind of competing. Now some of them are in varying scales, but then there are some that are the same scale. So you got an option for a figure from different companies and sometimes somewhat different styles to sometimes very different styles. But even still in the same scale. So that's you got a lot of options there. Some people have to have everything. Some people will want to mix or not mix their figures. So for you personally, as a collector, regardless of what kind of figures you collect, do you mix your brands and or different styles of figures? Now for me, I want to say mostly it's always been the biggest factor for me has been scale. I am a stickler for scale. It's not that I don't collect certain scales, it's that I won't mix them. I mean, that seems to make sense. I would think most people are on the same page with that, but then there could be exceptions there. I know some people who don't mind mixing like 7-inch figures with 6-inch figures. And it depends on what you do with them. Maybe if you just play with them or you display them, the scale doesn't matter at all. But if you're someone that does like toy photography, for example, or stop motion animation, anything like that, there could be reasons there to separate the scales. So for me, it's largely been scale. But here's the thing, the OC in me even in the same scale, will not mix certain figures. So I've actually got a few examples. Or no, I won't say that I won't mix them. Either I won't mix them, or I'm still kind of on the fence. Let me just show you guys some examples so you have an idea what I'm talking about. So here we have, this is the Marvel Legends Deadpool, and this is the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Deadpool. They're fairly in the same scale. I haven't matched up all my Revoltech figures, but it looks like this Deadpool actually is a teeny tiny bit shorter. Now he's not standing completely straight. That could be a factor. But still, I would, just going by scale, I would totally mix these guys. But here's the thing. This isn't the best example of it, but if you look at the other Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech figures, especially ones that have an exposed human face, it's anime-like. The Revoltech figures have an anime look, and if you really look at the style of the figure, it's very stylized. Even though not clearly anime, without seeing like a human face, it still is very stylized. So it's like, based on scale, I want to mix these guys, but there's still a part of me that just because of their how much more stylized they are over the Marvel Legends, I kind of have a tough time. Like, I haven't put them together in a shot, and especially the fact, that, like I said, the human face ones are very anime-like. That, I don't know. I'd be really on the fence with that one. I haven't done it yet. I can't say that I completely wouldn't. Another thing to consider is the fact that right now, Hasbro is on a roll with their 90s X-Men. But then there's other companies coming out with some good stuff too. Like recently revealed, the Mezco 112 Collective Gambit. So you could have your Marvel Legends Gambit, which also just came out. I don't know if I've seen them in stores or not. Anyway, you could have that. That could be enough for you. But then there's the Mezco 112 Collective one. But then there's also the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi one, which again, it scales well, but very stylized. And the thing with, if you're not familiar with these Revoltech figures, they pose insanely. You will get these guys in insane poses, that stuff you could never do with these Marvel Legends. So that's the plus side with these. But again, like if you look at the Revoltech Gambit, his face, very anime. Some people might be able to mix them, some people might not. I don't know yet if I'd be able to do that. Like, I want to be able to scale-wise, but the fact that they look anime-like, I might not. And then who else? I think Maifix. Yeah, Maifix is also doing like 6-inch Marvel comic based figures. I know they have the Wolverine, the 90s Wolverine and Cyclops coming out. So that could be another option if you're, like, for example, if you're really sticking with those 90s X-Men, those are options. Do you mix them? I kind of want to think I do. I know I'm familiar with Maifix so far. As far as the Maifix I have, they scale well with Marvel Legends. So it's like, I wouldn't mind trading up. Like, instead of, like, I'd still get all the 90s X-Men Marvel Legends, but for certain characters, if there's like the Maifix version, like Cyclops or Wolverine, I'll opt to use that one in my collection and possibly mix them for, photographic purposes, stuff like that. So another example. So here's your Marvel Legends Wolverine and your Mezco one. Nah, not Wolverine, Punisher. Sorry, I'm tired. Anyway, so Punisher and Mezco 112 Collective Punisher. They're pretty much exactly in the same scale. But now you have your 112 Collective, which not only, like any human exposed parts, so much more detailed and realistic and lifelike, but the fact that they are clothed, soft goods. So, style-wise, scale-wise, exactly there. But style-wise, look, you got all the exposed articulation joints, and it's all plastic, it's shiny, stuff like that, versus this, which actually, it's more realistic. So there's that. So far, again, based on scale, I want to get myself to be able to mix these two brands together, for photographs or whatever. I just haven't yet. And it's one of those things where I'll see people do it and it looks great in people's photographs, but me just being OC, so that's just me. So yeah, and considering other figures, this is just he's got like a bodysuit on, but imagine other Mezco 112 with like capes or trench coats, stuff like that. It's almost like that's one thing, but to see like to put two like Gambit, for example, you put the Marvel Legends one next to the 112 Collector one that's fully clothed, not only the clothes underneath, but the like the trench coat and everything. There's kind of a vast difference there in the styles, but again, I mean, scale exactly the same. Why not? Here's another example for me. So now both of these are import. None of these are like a cheaper, domestic version like Marvel Legends or your Mattel DC Universe or DC Multiverse. These are both imports. This one's the SH Figure Arts. This one is the Maifix. But look at the size. I don't want to say the scale. The size difference there. Because SH Figure Arts are still 6-inch scale, but they're on the smaller end. Like they're exactly 6-inch. Whereas like Marvel Legends, which is my benchmark for the 6-inch scale, are all roughly around 6.25 to 6.5 inches. So there's a difference there. I wouldn't mix the characters from these two lines simply because of their size differences. And then one final example, Rey. So not the exact same costume here, both from The Last Jedi though. Scaled, look at that. So this is SH Figure Arts and this is Hasbro Black Series. Now the good thing about Hasbro is they've been stepping up with their the faces on their figures to look a lot better, but there's still really noticeable differences in the rest of the figure, like the quality overall and the joints and everything. That's still not like there's hidden joints on these, but design wise they just look better, feel better. But still, here's the thing. I've discovered that Star Wars Black Series, unlike Marvel Legends, are on that kind of smaller end of the 6-inch scale. So, not that I have many SH Figure Arts Star Wars, and I'll probably never have a lot simply because of how much they cost. But I want to think I would actually mix them. So I haven't yet for any purposes. But I want to think I would simply because they are in the exact same scale, and their styles aren't glaringly different. Like there's no soft goods on this figure. If you're looking at them close, you can see the differences and kind of like the detail and quality. But other than that, they should mix fine. So there's my examples. There's probably a lot more I can bring up. But again, it's just for the simple fact that, the scale is my main stipulation, but there are things that I still haven't, but I still want to see if I would and could and be okay with mixing, like, so you've got these varying styles. For example, let's go back to like Mezco 112 Collective and Hasbro Marvel Legends. You've got, the all plastic versus soft goods. A lot more realistic there. I want to be able to use like whatever is the best version of the figure from whatever company, as long as it's in the 6-inch scale, to be like my version of that character, like my definitive version. So instead of having a billion different versions of the character in the same scale, like just have one best version. And if it's going to be like for example, if there is no other option, there is no other company that makes a certain Marvel character, and Marvel Legends is it, then that's it. But if there's one like, for example, again like the '90s X-Men, and you've got your Maifix version, and I feel like style-wise, those will mix a lot easier, or closer with Marvel Legends than something like a 112 Collective or a Amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech. So anyway, there you guys have it. That's the question of the day. Please comment down below. I mean, it's for me, it's sharing my point of view, but it's really, I'm asking you guys to chime in and share your thoughts, or your answer if you mix your brands or your styles of action figures, or even scales. Chime in if you do, because my answer is I don't. I won't mix 6 and 7 inch scale, or even like if you're a 7-inch collector, like will you mix? And Ed actually mentioned these two as an example. Your NECA figures with like Storm Collectibles, for example, which Storm Collectibles are, man, there's just some really cool figures from their Mortal Kombat, their upcoming Street Fighter ones. They've done wrestling ones. What else do they do? And they have a bunch of other cool stuff upcoming. Street Fighter. If I didn't say Street Fighter? But my issue with those is the 7-inch scale. It's funny, they're labeled 112 scale, but they're 7-inch figures, and they're really big and bulky on the bulkier end. So I couldn't mix those with my collection. Like for Street Fighter, I'm sticking with the SH Figure Arts ones, even though I kind of don't think that's going to be a long-lasting line, so we probably won't see a lot of characters. More, if any. I don't think any. Or I think there have been some reveals, right? Yeah, there's still been some reveals, like Vega, I think. But I'm gonna collect those. So far I've only got Chun-Li and Ryu. I still need Cammy, Sakura, and a few others. I'm not gonna collect them all, just the ones I really want. But anyway, so there you guys have it. And I'm saying that again for the second time. Again, please comment down below. And let me know. Let me know what you think. So there you guys have it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for watching.